Alrighty.
Ooh,
So we do have some substitutions, and okay, so
it's
yeah.
kind of what we were saying, except it's not Arthur, it's Cad.
Yeah, so still kind of surprised. Also, DAMWON on the blue side yet again. Seems like the draft might just start off a bit similarly as it's Renekton. Samira first, not the Pantheon, but I'm sure we will still see the Pantheon taken away in the end.
Yeah, Lucian, Pantheon should be the upcoming bans. I don't think if you're Hanwha Life, you would ever leave Pantheon available.
Yeah.
And the Graves was the third ban for Hanwha. What are we going to see banned here from DAMWON? Do they just mirror it once again? Akali, yes they do.
Yep. It's doing the same thing over again.
And now we ban away Graves from Canyon. Yes, we do. And now...
Okay, and now we first pick Olaf.
Yes, we do.
For Canyon.
I mean, really the onus is on Hanwha Life to change it. Because DAMWON are like, yeah, I mean, that was perfect. Let's do that again 3 times. And we'll go away with 3-0.
If it wasn't for the Samira getting banned before the Pantheon, I would think maybe we haven't fixed the observing issue and we're just replaying game 1.
Yeah.
But we do have some change-ups coming in already. Misfortune locked in, as well as the Lilia.
Jin Syndra.
They are totally content.
Oh, Yone.
No.
Yeah, hard locked.
Oh, dear.
Auto locked by Chovy. He's angry.
Okay.
He's like, well, if my team's not going to support me, I'm just going to try to 1v9.
Let's see if this goes better for him this time around.
Well, I would imagine that it's not going to be too easy for him. We haven't seen too much success with the Yones so far in this tournament, or at all. And now we're going to get the big tanks banned away here. Ornn on the side of DAMWON. And Maokai and Galio, a couple of supports. I believe those are the same 2 bans that we saw.
Yep.
From game number 1.
Exactly the same there from Hanwha Life. Kai'Sa obviously not going to get banned in the second round since the Misfortune's already locked in, so instead they target the Ornn. And then the Shen going to be banned away by DAMWON Gaming. Leona first pick for Hanwha Life, so getting themselves some nice tankiness. Solid front line.
Support meta right now feels really stale. We don't really get
Leona
to see
Alistar.
anything that is not Leona Alistar, unless it's Maokai. We saw Galio a little bit. We saw Shen like twice.
Yeah, from Vista.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, it's just like, okay, we're going to be picking the same thing every single time. It's really a tank support meta. And now it seems like Khan wants to jump onto the Aatrox. So
okay,
taking away the Jace and replacing it with the Aatrox. And what will Morgan play? Kennen.
Oh, answered that one very quickly. Goes ahead, locks it in, not looking to play the Jace. Like we saw from Khan last game in the reverse matchup, will go for the Kennen. I mean, honestly, a lot better team fight potential, it seems like, for the side of Hanwha Life, given the sizing Maelstrom. You've got a multitude of CCs. You can have the sleep from the Lilia and all of the wonderful CC that the Leona brings forward. So there's, I think this is a much better draft for Hanwha compared to what we saw from them in game number 1. But the question is, can they execute on it?
Yeah, I think they have a lot better catch potential this time around. The last time it was like, well, Alistar kind of needs to run at them, or we need to get an engaged Shockwave. And when you're kind of relying on that, it's difficult because if, you know, you're going up against Syndra Jhin, like we were saying in the break, it's like, well, they're always going to keep you at range, and you're always going to be zoned out. So they have a lot better pick potential. Even the Yone himself can get some stuff going. The flank potential from the Kennen and the Leona, most importantly, gives you a little bit more range on her engage ability. But, I don't know, DAMWON kind of go with basically the same thing. Less poke and more engage with the Aatrox. And I think they're going to be just fine sailing into game 2.
Alrighty, well, we'll have to see. Hanwha Life, can they get a nice early pace in this game? Try to get ahead of DAMWON Gaming and take them down. Chovy yet again on this Yone. Always interesting to watch. Let's see if he can find success with it. Let's see if they can pick up a map win as we jump into game number 2.
Oh, okay.
Haha!
Straight to the pause.
Surprise.
Press the attack from Misfortune, immediately pointed out from our observer. So it doesn't seem to be an observer issue anymore.
Maybe it's a press the attack issue, and Dev's like, wait, we gotta go again.
Seems like Khan from DAMWON, he's having an audio issue.
Okay, well.
So no press the attack issue.
The audio issues have fortunately been taken care of pretty quickly throughout the.
I'd imagine he just, you know, replugs in his headset and we get going.
Could very well be.
It's like Aatrox is much louder than Jace. I need to turn down my volume settings. Hold on. I would imagine a World Ender is a little bit louder than. Well, actually, I'm just interrupted because it seems like we have kind of solved our issue.
Aha! Oh, Depth already walking up onto Ghost. Trading back a little bit of damage. Fourth shot going to be coming through, so all in all, pretty equal. He's going to pursue forward. It's another shot in. How far does he want to chase this? Depth is going to pop the heal.
Man.
Oh, man. He flashes the flare. Gets the final nade on him. Says, come here. But, yeah, Deft already going to be zoned out of the lane. Fortunately, has enough time to recall and then run back to catch up to the minions. Ghost seeing this pushes forward, and Vista unable to get the Q auto.
Yeah, pretty weird there, but I think Deft's kind of overestimating how well his press the attack would do because he was up against Boots, Fleet Footwork. For the Jhin. So you're never going to get away from him. So if you are pressing to actually get in there and take a big trade, you better be damn sure, because if you're not, you're just going to get walked all the way down the lane, and Deft eventually realized that and had to blow his heal. So gets taunted immediately after by Ghost, of course. Ghost now a very confident player. I actually saw a tweet by aforementioned Ashley Kong where it was like Ghost just recently, in his recent match in the KeSPA Cup, past 50% pro gaming win rate, which is insane because he's so good, but the beginning of his career, not so much.
Well, I mean, he started his career on CJ Entis for a period of time and then moved on to BBQ Olivers, which was a tragic team as far as results were considered. Overall, whether it was in the LCK or in the Challengers when they got relegated down. And then, you know, he was able to shift off of BBQ onto, I believe, Sandbox for
yes.
and then moved over to DAMWON.
There you go. Achilleos keeping up with his Ghost lore.
I think that Ghost is it's just a phenomenal story as a player, going from such low lows to the absolute highest high that you could possibly have, and being a literal world champion.
Literally,
yep.
Yeah. Shout out to Azale, our resident literal world champion. And yeah, I mean, I was one of those voices that were just like, man, Ghost really is. I mean, he could be the worst AD carry in this league. And part of the problem for BBQ back then, it was like one of my first LCKs back into League of Legends casting. But that was what made it such a huge story for me when he was able to succeed so much afterwards and reach some massive highs because he just changed entirely. He went from, you know, started from the bottom, and then he made it there to the world champion. So props to him, props to DAMWON. See how this one is going to go for Cad, because again, he's up against Canyon.
Well, didn't quite realize quickly enough. We'll take away a couple of the smaller popcorn chickens here. He's got the red buff to pursue forward, so get a decent amount of damage in onto Canyon. Now he's going to try to turn things around. He's got the added HP. Flashes! Flash comes out from Cad, not quite sure where he was trying to go. Gets taken down. Canyon now falling low, hits him with the undertow, and he is going to be totally fine. And I mean, it's just such a moment there from Canyon saying, you know, you are not chasing me. I'm leading you into a dark alleyway. He takes him down. What a turnaround from Canyon. And Cad just completely falls to the bait.
Yeah. I don't know. That feels like one of those moments in a best-of-5 series where you're like, oh, this is done. Like, you know?
Yeah.
We've had many moments like that in the past. Chovy, by the way, took an excellent trade here against Showmaker and is really making it annoying for him to finish off those minions. He doesn't have teleport, so he's going to have to walk back to lane. Great extended trade from Chovy. He's doing it again onto Canyon. I don't know if you want to do that against him.
Yeah. Nice undertow chunk comes in. Canyon able to pick up the large raptor as well.
And it was kind of like the same idea. You remember the beginning of game 1 where Canyon took a bunch of damage, and then he just went into his jungle and he's like, oh, this is going to help me clear faster. He's like just waiting for the Lilia to chip him down low enough so that he would just be able to turn around and pummel the Lilia, who is extremely squishy. So, yes, you can't get away from the Lilia, but he waits until he gets the speed up, immediately turns around, because he knows he'll have the speed from that one. Dodges with the flash, with the watch out, 8 damage not coming through, and makes the trade look really simple.
Well, Cad nearby, so we will have a 3v3 down here in the bottom lane. Undertow through, goes forward on a Vista. Barrel taking quite a bit of damage as Xenoblade actually still connects. And Deft will be able to find the kill. Make It Rain going to be slowing up for a little bit longer. Flash forward, Q-stun goes out on a Cannon, but this is when he is most dangerous. Turns it around, finds the kill. He's looking for another one. Barely cannot get into range to take down Cad, but Ghost is there to scoop the kill.
I don't understand.
All in all, a 2 for 2 in the bottom lane, as Deft will have both kills. So overall, not too bad for him.
Yeah, not too bad for Deft for sure, but like the fact that that started out really fantastically for Hanwha Life, and then somehow Canyon again turns the trade into a 2 for 2 when it should have just been, you know, DAMWON being chased down the lane forever and eventually losing it.
Oh, well, here's Barrel. Midblade goes out, stun onto Showmaker. Roam down comes through from Khan. Can he get here? Fast enough. Chovy ends up right in front of the Aatrox, who will jump over the wall, gets a slow, flashes forward, gets the knock up. Blast Cone is there, and Chovy is out to safety. Both summoner spells now down. Canyon arrives in the bottom lane, tries to get the kill on Deft, and will just force the flash.
He's still just terrorizing every single person.
Sug into the lane.
Yeah, exactly. He plays that all off so nicely. And again, you know, it starts off looking at it. By the way, the Infernal Drake going to go Canyon's way again. First Drake easy. And they just overextend, and they know it, so they immediately turn around to DAMWON. And this is looking just incredibly over. Ghost has to flash away.
Yep.
But then the second Vista turns, Canyon's like, well, I can't get away from here, so I have to fight. Plays it perfectly, dodges out a lot of that damage. Thankfully, Ghost able to get that 4th shot to finish off the Lilia, but
I think that
turns into a 2 for 2.
If he didn't have to pursue forward to try to get the autos onto Lilia, maybe if he had started turning onto Deft a little bit sooner, I kind of just feel like Canyon might have been able to survive there, or they might have been able to get 3 kills instead of just the 2. But he was, yeah, he really wanted to take down that Lilia, which Ghost was able to do in the end. So 1-0-1 for Ghost, 2-0 here for Deft. So already in a pretty decent spot as Joey's just going to be doing unbounding his soul.
I love doing that. Feels great. It's like a, you know, like when you have a warm shower.
Yeah.
After a cold day. Just go ahead and try it. Go unbound your soul guys. But yeah, he is looking pretty good in the mid game based on the trades we've been seeing. But at the same time, Showmaker's up on CS. So at the end of the day, yes, you've been taking good trades, but you are behind.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes. The top lane here going well for Morgan. He has Stake Unsealed Spellbook, so he's able to swap over to the Ignite here to always threaten some kind of a trade and make it even less easy for Khan to handle that lane.
Well, Barrel will be able to find this control ward in the jungle. One goes back down. The Flourish not going to connect, otherwise that could have been quite painful for Deft, who is actually taking shots from a curtain call. Yes, it was popped. Okay.
That's not good.
That's got to be canceled. Deft has no mana, no summoner spells. Ghost, can he actually get the hit? But doesn't have the prep and damage to actually result in a root. this is
That was really close. You saw he threw out the flower.
Yeah.
I forget the name of it.
Captive audience.
Yeah, captive audience.
Somehow I haven't forgotten these.
Yeah. Just to try to get the, I think it's his passive where he kind of like marks the target with some damage and then he can root with his own deadly flourish. But unfortunately that did stop his tracks a little bit.
I'm actually double checking just because I don't want to sound confident and be completely and utterly wrong.
Well, it's funny because we always talk about this, but the one that looks like a flower is not called Deadly Flourish. It's actually the W.
Yes, it is. So yeah, captive audience is indeed.
When you said it, I was like, yeah, okay, I remember.
His passive is called Whisper.
Whisper, there you go. Something we don't do very often. On the desk, at least. Barrel just being really annoying, went for the Moby Boots, and is just trying to be all over the map here. We do have the Rift Herald taken, of course, by Canyon, as he terrorizes another young jungler.
Just comes to the territory.
Yeah.
You want to play in the LCK, you're going to have to get bullied by Canyon.
I think I accidentally say, throw Morgan into the jungle earlier on, but maybe after these two fail, we can, just throw Morgan into the jungle and then throw Doo-Doo back up in the top lane.
I mean,
maybe that'll work out.
Teams have done more drastic changes to try to get results. Perks was once a mid laner. He got moved down to the bottom lane. Remember when Piglet went from AD carry to mid laning as well for in the LCS. So
yeah, Spirit
sometimes
from Africa playing AP support Jarvan. That was a fun time as well.
Oh, slow connects, but yeah, they don't want to tower dive. It's just gonna keep flashing.
World champion, by the way.
Yep. Literal world champion. I think Riot should give them that flair that they should be able to push out. Is just
literal world champion.
Only them. Don't give it to anybody else in the world. Just give it to the players. Just flash it. Say literal world champion. And it's going to be the knockup coming through now onto Cat. He is not able to escape. Ghost just going to be sniping out that final blow. Chovy will go ahead and snap back to safety underneath the tower where the turret is going to take just a little bit more damage. He has decent wave clear here for the moment, but now that I say that, Rift Herald will get summoned. And this thing is going to get broken down. So not looking to split and try to offer up the solo plate gold to anybody. Just wanting to try and knock down the tower as best as possible. Chovy from around the side gets the knock up coming through. Soul holds onto the ultimate though. And it's going to be a dragon on the back end.
Perfect timing, so just rotate on down, take the Ocean Drake here. And Hanwha Life actually are thinking about committing here. I don't know about that. Vista, if he actually connected, it's going to die anyway.
Oh, okay. So they're still showing enough respect to not just plus forward in to try to take down Vista.
Khan.
But yeah, Khan is roaming down. There's going to be a massive stun! A massive ultimate from Chovy, clips onto 3. Ghost now getting jumped on by Depth, low HP. Will flash out of the backside of the pit. One more hit would finish him off. They do spot him. Vista, can he close the gap? He is going to have the flash available here. Hex flash, now does get burnt. Doesn't bring them close enough, but oh man, Ghost, he's got nowhere to go. Does get taken down in the end. What a brutal turnaround from the side of Hanwha Life, all on the back of Chovy's ult.
Yeah, I mean, I was just, I was like on the DAMWON side, just like, oh, this is going to be easy. Easy, Ocean Drake, easy turnaround, but not the case. They actually want to get in here now and try to get something back. Looks like they'll only get death.
Yeah, will get knocked up multiple times, and Pearl Chain's coming through as well. Just to drag him back in. We'll zoom in on his poor little close he dies. But they find that kill. They shut him down. He was 3-0-2 up until that point. So first death there for Def. But can we get the replay, please? Like, I would really love to look at that Yone ultimate again.
By the way, Morgan doing the perfect idea. You know, the teleport used down in the bottom side. He just pushes 2 plates and denies a bunch of CS into that turret up in the top side. So he gets it right before the plates go down too. So just really playing the map out well, getting a lot of value there. Vista might die here.
Lily is nearby, so Chad going to be roaming over, but yeah, a lot of damage going to get pushed down onto the Yona. so he will just fall. Chovy hovering nearby, but nothing more that he would be able to do to try and turn things around.
And that engage that we had, it was perfectly mechanically played by Chovy and Deft as well. Like everybody came together once that first engage clicked. Everybody just hopped in and it just jumped on them, and that's exactly what they tailored their composition to do better this time around compared to Game 1. And that's exactly what we were talking about in the pick ban. And it was really nice to see it, as we're still waiting for that highlight, by the way.
Yeah, haven't been able to see it yet. Chovy making gonna make another highlight as Barrel's just like, okay, I'll sit right here. Here we go.
All right. So I'm just sitting here. I'm like, yeah, Vista's dead. Kind of laughing at him, but actually, it is Hanwha Life who turns it around. DAMWON getting pretty aggressive, and then Chovy says no. Knocks up 3 of them.
With the bullet time layered in. Beautifully done. I mean, yeah, just great to identify that that play was going to be possible. Get played coming through. Vista going to get headbutted back up the lane. Joseph to juke out away from the Lily. The bullet time comes through, however. A Deft will find the kill. Barrel going to get taken down. A double kill for Deft. 5-1 and 2 now on this misfortune. A nice scoreline here for Hanwha Life with a nice gold lead as well. Harold will get started up by Canyon. But this very well could end up being a victory for Hanwha Life Esports. Showmaker jumped on underneath the tower. Chovy doesn't give a damn about it. Comes up with a solo kill. 2-0-3 now on the Yone.
Yeah. Who's the best mid laner in Korea? I know for the majority of 2020, we were singing the praises of Showmaker, and obviously a lot of people were also saying Chovy. And I feel like that battle is always going to rage on. But moments like that, you know, gives Chovy some points. Obviously, he is currently in a big lead in terms of items and scenario, but just a really nice outplay from Chovy. It did start here, though, as Barrel, they did not expect CAD to be here. And even if CAD wasn't here, I think still the bullet time would have been enough damage to kill them both at the end of it all. As Chovy dodges everything, lands that ult perfectly on Showmaker. Nowhere for him to go. He tries to cleanse, but he's just getting pummeled now. We have the Gale Force, of course, completed for Chovy, so he's just, it's so hard to lock him down for a Syndra at this point in time.
Yeah. And this could very well spiral out of control. I mean, this is kind of the first time that we're seeing a Yone do something.
Yeah, you know?
You know, he's very well ahead. You know, down in CS, but very much up in score, 2-0-3. So a much better performance so far from Chovy. Much better synergy from Hanwha Life in game number 2. Kenyon spots out Chovy. See how hard they really do want to fight over this. It's going to be the Rift Herald tossed out into mid to try and draw a bit of a distraction, perhaps. Morgan
spotted
on the backside of the pit, but yeah, was spotted, as you say. Drag it down below 2k HP. Canyon does he actually wants to play for the Solar Flare. Will connect, he gets stunned up. Not going to be able to drag Vista back in. Not under fire, gets jumped on. Deft goes forward, manages to find the kill. Their tower does get taken down. The slicing maelstrom into the back. Morgan stunning at multiple members on the side of DAMWON Gaming. Ghost makes his way in underneath of the tower as Chovy comes up with a double kill. Ghost is going to be the only one standing now at the end of it all. Curtain call coming out. It's a couple tags in onto CAD, who will make it out of range in time to avoid that 4th and final shot.
Yeah, and Chovy is just so massive now that he can kind of engage. They're actually going to get the flash away from Ghost here as well. So nothing going right for DAMWON. Hanwha Life have easily been able to take control of this game after a couple of insane plays. We saw the Rift Herald go down mid, and yes, you know, some damage done to that mid lane by the side of DAMWON, but everything else is falling around them. And, you know, they're losing teamfight after teamfight. So props to Hanwha. As you can see here, you know, Canyon is still kind of hanging around. You know, do we engage onto this Cloud Drake? You see that Khan gets caught up on the top side, and a couple of sleeps later, Chovy able to just perfectly line it up again. And this time there's a cannon, so it's even scarier than the last time. Thankfully, you know, for DAMWON, some of them were able to spread out, but it was still absolute destruction from the side of Hanwha Life. Chovy now 4-0 and 5.
It's such an odd time to try to fight that out as well. I mean, I get that you want to make your way to Soul Point, you know, have that third dragon locked in, but it's going to be Cloud. It's not the most important. I think that, you know, if anything, poke out around the pit. Oh, as Chovy tries to go in for the sealed fade. He takes quite a bit of damage. And Canyon, hello, is alone underneath of the tower, trying to get that kill, is unable to do so. Meanwhile, Morgan rejoins. Does have the slicing maelstrom available, and Beryl is in a very bad position. Is going to have to give his life so the rest of the team can potentially exit. Deft strutting around, not going to be moving into that top lane to try to find the kill. Instead, the pings are going to be coming out as the Baron spawns, and Canyon is still dead for 13 more seconds.
Yep, they should be able to take this one down. You know, they do have that curtain call still, well, it's about to be available, but
just Deadly Flourish steal it.
We'll see if they have enough time to, you know, rush down the Baron before any, you know, kind of poking does come in. It's about halfway
Curtain call
so
is out.
far.
He's got to be careful. Morgan's right over the wall. The curtain call has to be canceled.
They're going to get in.
Yeah, and this is just going to be Baron taking the free. Nobody else in any kind of position to try and take this away. Hanwha Life 16-6 with a massive gold lead just 20 minutes in. They pick up the Baron.
Yeah, so I don't know what was going on here, but Chovy, he missed his ultimate, but he got right beside Showmaker, nearly able to take him out anyway.
And then,
yeah, when the teleport comes in, Beryl's like, no, we're not doing this, and Canyon's like, well, I gotta go anyway because I'm caught, and it just gets so messy. And Hanwha Life, again, just playing really safe and standard and well, and
yeah.
Chovy is kind of unleashed, you know, so he can kind of just do whatever he wants at this point in time. Now, he might get dove here. This is an interesting setup from DAMWON. Don't know if it'll work, though.
Well, they should know now that this is nearby. Chovy's just going to open onto Canyon. Beryl now in a bad position. Until comes through. Canyon one hit from dead. Unleash power, takes him low. He actually does manage to find the kill in the end. Great shutdown there for Showmaker. Canyon falling low, is trying to get into melee range so he can get some life regen coming through, but instead it's going to be a double kill going over to Deft. Showmaker now in the meantime trying to retreat, gets stunned up, will get taken down, and just like that, 3 members dead on the side of DAMWON Gaming yet again, all to kill Chovy.
Yeah, and they do get that kill, but definitely not worth it. Even though they shut him down, it doesn't matter.
They're going to lose an in him here.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it. Ghost and Khan are just pushing lanes, trying to get something done, but Ghost may have stayed.
Well, now they, okay.
Overstayed his welcome.
Yeah, Barrel's up and Ghost is going to get jumped on. Goes over to the side, tries to get his way to the blast cone. Just managed to hop up over the wall. Khan's still chasing him down. He's on top.
Morgan's got to be careful.
Khan is here. They get the deadly flourish. Can they get the finish on the cannon? Oh, there's a bit of a heal there. Ghost now in no man's land says, yeah, Khan, just leave. I'm dead.
You're going to give that kill over to Chovy. Might as well.
He gets a solo, too.
Yeah. Stack up the gold. Wow. This game has really turned into a crazy, messy one. I mean, we have 27 kills in 22 minutes. And a lot of it is just like people getting caught out, going crazy dives down on the bottom side. DAMWON really trying to, I suppose, mix things up.
Well, they've certainly done that.
But it's really hype. I mean, the fact that Hanwha Life were able to win like this as a dodged ultimate by Khan, but again, you can't 1v1 this guy.
Yeah.
Especially because he's got Mortal Reminder, so you can try to turn it.
With the Fate Seal gone, he will jump over the wall. Flash comes in, but Chovy flashes in response. Jump forward comes out from Khan, and they will be able to finish him off in the end. So, was looking a little shaky there for a while. Good, fancy footwork coming in from Chovy to try and survive, but does get taken down in the end.
Yeah, so he can't currently 1v2.
Yeah.
He's still very strong. Don't let that fool you too much, as he'll still be looking for crazy assassinations in the fight. Yone, I feel like a lot more consistent than something like a Yasuo, who can also get some crazy assassinations down. Because if you land that ultimate at the right point, you're going to be knocking people up, doing an insane amount of damage, and also setting up for the rest of your engaged team to just follow up. I mean, if you lock people in place, they're going to get maelstromed, they're going to get bullet timed, solar flares are going to pop out, AoE damage from the Lilia. And that's really how this composition is running at this point in time. So it does look really good for Hanwha Life to try to pull this off. And it's really hype, too, because they're doing it through just basically Chovy and Deft, especially Chovy, who set up that original team fight that totally turned this one around.
Oh, Showmaker flashing away instantly as the Make It Rain comes down. Was so wary of being in range of that solar flare from Vista.
And Showmaker hasn't been having a great game either because after you get solo kills, after getting caught by the Yone in the team fight prior, you're not going to be feeling good. You're not going to be feeling very confident. You're going to be behind on items. And as a Syndra, yes, you can try to keep them at range, and you still can try to blow people up, but it's not going to be nearly as easy in this kind of game where the enemy Yone is just unleashed and is going nuts in your backline.
Gold deficit. So staggering right now here for DAMWON as they try to find a way back in. Tagged up, but won't be taking a nap yet. Down in the bottom lane, TP is available. He's going to be at least looking to get the minions up against that outer turret. This inner tower down here takes quite a bit of damage. Connects in that. It's going to be the lockdown off the deadly flourish. Now with the curtain call rolling and looking for depth in the back line. Shots will not connect. Holds the fourth one. We'll just toss that out onto Vista here with the Leona. It's dragged over to the side. Another stun coming through. Deadly flourish does not connect though. And that will allow the Leona to exit safely. So only Chovy going to be eliminated here in the fight. 40 seconds left on the Baron now. DAMWON Gaming, they're keeping their heads above the water.
Yeah, and you know, it's clear that Chovy is really damn good at Yone, okay? But this is the thing about Assassins too, especially melee Assassins. It's like, well, you can just be in the wrong place at the wrong time and immediately just get blown up. Like, there is still an amazing amount of pick on the side of DAMWON, and they have a lot of range with it. This is what Syndra Jin does. So you pop forward and you take one stun, you're dead. Which is why you can't really pop forward until your team is ready to back you up. So just a straight-up mistake from Chovy. He pops forward and Showmaker right there. I mentioned he hasn't been super consistent so far in this game, playing from behind on the Syndra. But he makes up for it there with that pick onto Chovy, and it gives them some life, some time to try to scale more into the late game. And that's not the engage Hanwha Life are looking for, obviously. They would love to just wombo combo once again with Yone MF or Yone Kennen, something like that.
They also love to get another kill on the depth because this guy's just been stretching his bounty. Played forward on a barrel, headbutt will send him back. TP's going to be completed by Morgan, who does arrive. Can't really find a way into the action yet.
And that's
Baron
TP down for Kennen.
Yep.
So
yeah, Khan still has his. Was able to just continue splitting into that bottom lane. Now they have to be careful though. Solar Flare's going to come down to the top of the cannon. He's going to respond with a Ragnarok. Shoot off the deadly flourish. Goes in.
Barrel.
Three-man knock up there from Barrel, but do they have the damage to try to turn it around? The curtain call is going to have to be canceled instantly from Ghost, and Barrel will be the first one to fall. Cat goes golden, dodges out on that scatter of the weak. Chovy is still very much a healthy Yone. Pulling their way now over to the Baron. Do they just start this up, or do they try to bait them in? Xenoblade not going to connect. Ghost narrowly avoids getting absolutely blown up.
TP coming in.
Morgan jumps over the wall. Goes golden. The slice of Maelstrom is there. Cannon going to be taken down. They do manage to find a kill in response onto the cannon. Khan is 1v3 at the moment, trying to take down Vista, trying to take down anybody that he possibly can. Makes it over the wall safely and will be able to survive. But it's just him, Showmaker, and now Barrel up as the Baron gets started.
Yeah, and Chovy has been the flashy one, but Deft is he's pretty insanely fed at this point in time. I think he's like 10-1 in this game. He was easily 11-1. Okay, easily able to solo Ghost after that fight got really messy towards the end. And even though the engage from Barrel looked cool, I think it was actually the wrong move because you're still behind it. It almost feels like DAMWON, you know, they're incredibly confident, but in this point in the game, you've got to respect just the difference in gold and items right now, because you see here Barrel pushes so far forward away from his team. Aatrox and Syndra are just not here, so there's no follow-up. He dies immediately, and now they're all on the run. And again, it kind of breaks down here when they are just like going face-checking 4v5 again. I don't know why they decide to do this, but a nice setup from Hanwha Life. at least they get the kill on the cannon, but then Def just flashes the wall and 2 taps the Jin.
Yep.
And Aatrox also has to flash, so it's only good stuff for Hanwha Life as they continue to stretch their lead.
Yeah. Cloud Drake was picked up by DAMWON Gaming, so they are going to be at Soul Point, but again, Cloud Soul not going to be the greatest thing in the world. Not exactly what they would want trying to get back into this game now. So
yeah, it's not going to be the difference maker, you know.
Exactly.
At this point in time.
Well, they're down 9,000 gold at the 30-minute mark. 10 to 23 even in turrets.
Yeah. I wonder how this game looks if we go to like 6 items for everybody. I feel like the Aatrox and Olaf are going to fall off pretty heavily.
Yeah.
But Jin will be having a fun time. I'm not sure, though, if he can really compete with the amount of damage.
Well, that's the catch-in on a Showmaker who gets absolutely deleted. Mid laner gone. Deadly Flourish finds the root onto CAD for a bit, but there's just nothing that they can do. Getting pressed now from the mid, from the bot. Inhibitors going to be falling, and it looks like Hanwha Life Esports should be able to just continue to press in and slowly choke DAMWON Gaming out of this game. First inhibitor turret, or Nexus turret rather, going to be falling quite low. And dodging out on the internal phase. Full time comes down. Khan getting absolutely shredded, as is Beryl. They're going to have to retreat back over to the fountain, whereas Morgan is playing forward. They'll jump in. They look for Canyon. They force him to flash back into the fountain. Vista will get taken down. The Nexus exposed, shattered. Hanwha Life, they tie up the series 1-1. No 3-0 victory for DAMWON here in the semifinals.
Yep, they do lose the game, and I think it's their first in the KeSPA Cup.
It is.
And wow, in a very flashy manner at the same time, Hanwha Life come out and say, we've got some tricks up our sleeve. Chovy brings out the Yone in game 2. I was talking about some, maybe cheese strats from their junglers, but Chovy's like, I got you, fam. Let me get in there. And
yeah.
It didn't look cheesy at all. It just looked really, really damn good. He set up so many great fights for his team. He got Def super fed and the team ahead, and with that lead, they were just, as that composition together, they were just pummeling there. They were like rolling over them basically like a steamroller.
It was so much better than the other Yones that we've seen so far in the tournament here. This is by far the best one for Chovy.
Yeah.
Wasn't ahead in CS, but was way up in kills, and he was absolutely relevant all the way through. The cannon in response to the Aatrox, also just a wonderful pick there from Morgan, who looked perfectly adequate on it in the top lane. Got his proto belt, or whatever it's called now, and lunges forward.
Belt.
Yeah, rocket belt. Lunges forward, throws out the slicing maelstrom. He does exactly what a cannon needs to do. So, yeah, and then CAD. I mean, what were your first thoughts on CAD here? Seemed fine.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like a lot of the game was focused away from the jungle after a certain point. But he was playing really well in the team fight. So I think that just layering that damage and getting the sleeps where he really need to. Like he kind of set up that second fight when they were trying to push in and maybe fight over the Cloud Drake DAMWON, and then they had to like back out into mid lane, and they couldn't really get away from the Lilia because of what CAD was able to do. Just everybody really firing on all cylinders. Even Vista looked much better on the Leona. Again, helps when you're only going forward. So he was able to be in that position this time around.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, I think that CAD maybe just has to learn the limits of an Olaf and not try to press those too hard, especially when it's Canyon that you're playing against. But aside from that, like I do agree. I think that his team fight performance was overall quite good. He was getting some really good sleep targets coming out and setting up for further CC. So, yeah, this iteration of Hanwha Life looking pretty good. And it kind of raises the question, is there going to be another change when we come back from the next break and we get ready to go into game number 3? Do we see another roster shuffle from them, or do they say, oh, you know what, this is good, we stick with this?
Yeah, I think you just go for this one again. I think that Morgan was a lot more impactful in this game on the cannon. I think they were really able to get a nice matchup. I'm not sure why Khan didn't just play Jace again, to be honest. He was like kind of scared of getting countered by something, and maybe he felt a little bit not as confident as he should have been.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't having a super easy time against the Aatrox. You remember like the times where he was flashing away and not really getting much value, but
yeah, I mean early it was a little bit rough for him, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, and then I don't know, he just didn't get too much done on the Aatrox this game, to be honest.
Yeah, it was overall kind of weird. They saved the Aatrox for the last pick after they picked the Alistar. No way of counter-picking for the top lane. I personally would have been nervous about just having maybe Morgan come in and play Jace versus me. But instead, that does not happen. It's the Kennen, and he has, about equally as rough of a time.
Yeah, it was pretty rough. We'll see how he mixes it up. That'll be my most interesting
Oh, this was the turnaround.
look. Yeah, this is just Chovy saying, okay, time to smurf.
The beginning of the end.
Yeah. He's able to just dash on over, unbound that soul, unbind it, sets up the 3-man knockout. I think it was 2, and then the Alistar kind of got in there.
The Alistar gets dragged to the end of the Fate Sealed.
Yeah. So there you go.
And absolutely destroyed. Yeah, it's one of those moments where you kind of wish that you had a Locket of the Iron Solari, but also acknowledge that you might not have necessarily synced you. But the Shurelias definitely wasn't doing anything for them in this moment.
This was Cad's highlight. He flashed in, got the sweep off, sleeps 2 targets, force of Ragnarok early, and he sets up kind of everybody to bunch up for Chovy to follow up here, who ended up getting a double kill and just more death. And at this point, DAMWON's like, well, what do? Do we just dive Chovy? Is this how we win?
I guess we just have to try to kill him, but it was I think it was like very loudly the carry of the game was Chovy on the Yone, but very silently it was very much depth with this misfortune. He was constantly scooping kills. He was wreaking havoc during team fights. The bullet times, it seemed like every time he used bullet time, he was picking up a kill or 2.
Yeah, I mean,
really well navigated fights with him on this misfortune.
It's clear that Hanwha Life looked like a much better team in the driver's seat. It seems like they struggle a little bit from behind, which, I'm not just saying that about every team. Like, once you get behind, it's harder to win. I'm not saying that. They just looked a lot more confident and, kind of played more as a team. Like, everybody was firing on all cylinders when they could just kind of press their buttons and go forward, rather than just slowly lose. As most damage in the game by far, well, I suppose he's got MF with him there. So Chovy and Deft high-fiving for the victory in terms of damage.
Yeah, pretty just about neck and neck with each other. I actually kind of anticipated maybe a little bit more damage there for Deft, but still highly respectable numbers, especially when you have to go and compare to the likes of DAMWON Gaming, where it's very much just going to be on the back of Canyon, who wasn't able to get nearly as much done. Need to pop off early. They kind of did. Then it turned around on him.
Yeah.
But guys, we are tied up 1-1 in this best-of-5 series. When we return, we'll see which of these two teams is going to take one step closer to the grand finals of the KeSPA Cup 2020. So don't go anywhere.